Okay, so my resource I found for students is called Seesaw, and it is a digital learning platform made for pre-K through 6 students, teachers, and families that provides all-in-one instruction, digital portfolios, and communication. This program goes really well with my UDL principles that I focused on, which were design options for emotional capacity. I focused on recognizing expectations, beliefs, and motivations, developing awareness of self and others, and promoting individual and collective reflection. This seemed like the best resource I could find. I had never heard of it before, but all I had to do was log in with a Google account, and then I was able to access all of this stuff. I know I'm just using the basic version right now, which is free, which is super nice for teachers or students that just want to test it out. However, there's also a premium version, which I believe was $13.99 a year. So let's see. So in the home section, there's so many different things. You can create your own activities. You can post to a journal with photos, videos. Students can add on to that. You can create activities, even generate activities with AI. And something I thought was really cool is just messaging families. You can do it as announcements or even one-on-one. There's a lot of already pre-made activities, so you could just search what they have, and there's this little area where you can look at specific like areas you want to focus on. So I like that there's templates and portfolios. Early literacy, daily routines is super important for emotional regulation. Character building, I bet there's a lot of like role playing, different things like that. It even has like language development, motor development, which I've never really seen on curriculum things, so that's why I think it's really cool. Um, you can also search by grade all the way up to 5th grade, it looks like, and then you can also search by language, so students that are English language learners can also translate it to Spanish if they need that, which is super helpful to make sure they're not missing any content you're giving to the students. You can also browse by standards and curriculum, which I think is super cool. So if you go to Michigan, you can choose a subject. Social emotional learning goes well with my UDL standards. I focused on, let's say, kindergarten, English, and then search. And then it pops up all these different things that go along with it. So, like self-awareness, what standards it goes with, self-management, social awareness, responsible decision making, and then you can go to different correlations. These are different songs, creating classroom culture, and then these are like different, let's see, creating a classroom culture turn and talk. And it brings you right to that activity, and you can do it with the students. It gives you an activity and even a lesson plan for how to do it, which is super nice if you need to save time. So I think this is a great tool in general with that part. There's the AI where you can convert a resource into a PDF or turn a PDF or image into an activity, generate quizzes, start with a topic or prompt to get students engaged in an activity, or even assessing reading fluency or translating an activity. And then here's the messages area. Wow, translating it into 100 plus languages. That's really cool. But this is how you easily message families, which is super nice. On the Common Sense Education Review, it says that it has a 5 out of 5 community rating based on 70 reviews and a privacy rating of 84%. It focuses on things like classroom management, digital citizenship and literacy, which we learned is super important in this class, and even relationships and communication, which relates a lot to the principles I'm focusing on for UDL. And then a bunch of different ratings and reviews from people. So it talks about on Seesaw's website also inclusive tools for accessibility in the classroom, and it goes into the different accessibility tools that it has. So keyboard navigation, screen readers, speech to text or dictation, which is super important for students with diverse needs, closed captioning, voice annotations, and even color contrast inverting colors and font size for students that are visually impaired. It also has 10 ways Seesaw can support IEPs and 504 accommodations, and things like private notes for teachers, which is super important for recording observations in real time and also tracking project progress and giving that to families right away so they feel in the loop. Organized folders for evidence of learning, documenting for nonverbal communication. This one is super important because a lot of different websites and standards focus on students that are able to speak, but this allows students that are nonverbal to also complete activities and show their learning. It also has a focus mode for reduced distractions, and I think this would be super helpful for students with ADHD, as well as a practice mode with real-time feedback. And then this has different, success stories from educators that use Seesaw. You can focus on a different grade level depending on where you are, and you can also focus on different things like differentiated learning, and it tells you from the person how it helped them for their students. So yeah, I feel like this is just a really great tool, and I could definitely see myself using this in the future because I had never heard of it till now, but it seems super great. Yeah.